For 40 years, the Jewish people drank water from the Be'er in the Midbar. The Be'er was a large boulder that would follow the Jewish people wherever they went. At the death of Miriam, this Be'er suddenly couldn't be found. It hid. Hashem appeared to Moshe and told him, go speak to the rock. Go speak to the rock and tell it to come out and bring water to the Klal Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu with Aaron went out. He spoke to the rock and there was no response. Finally, he identified the rock and he made the following step. He said, 38 years ago, Hashem commanded us to hit the rock. Clearly, I've spoken to the rock. It didn't respond. Maybe I have to hit it now. Moshe Rabbeinu hit the rock. No sooner did he hit it than the water began spouting out. The water was provided for the Jewish people again. Rashi tells us that there was later a tremendous claim against Moshe Rabbeinu. Hashem says to Moshe, Yan lo himantem bi, because you did not trust in me. Apparently there was a level somewhat lacking of emunah, bitochen, trusting in Hashem on some level was lacking, because apparently had Moshe fully trusted in Hashem, he would have only spoken to the rock. Instead he hit it, and Rashi explains to us that there was a lesson that was lost. Had Moshe Rabbeinu spoken to the rock, and the rock would have responded, the entire Jewish nation would have seen something profound. They would have said as follows, look at that, a rock which is inanimate, a rock which doesn't require sustenance, listens to the words of Hashem, surely we should. Says Rashi, that lesson was lost, therefore there was a claim against Moshe. Apparently the lesson that the Jewish nation would have learned was that the rock doesn't require sustenance, doesn't require Hashem feeding it, yet it listens to Hashem. Surely we who require support, we who require a livelihood, surely we should listen to Hashem. That lesson was learned, and therefore there was a complaint against Moshe Rabbeinu. This Rashi is quite difficult to understand, because we're very familiar with the Gemara that tells us that schar mitzvah ba'al maleka, there is no reward for mitzvahs in this world. Meaning to say, if you do a mitzvah in this world, the reward doesn't come to you here, it comes to you in Olam Haba. Therefore, what would have been the Kal V'chomer? Granted, the rock listens to Hashem. What does that have to do with us? Yes, we're more precariously perched than is the rock in the sense that we require sustenance, but that has nothing to do with our doing mitzvahs. The reward for mitzvahs doesn't come for us in this world. Therefore, why should that be a motivating force? Oh, we better listen to Hashem because we require a livelihood, when the reward for doing the mitzvahs is not given in this world. And I believe the answer to this question is based on the Rambam in Hilchos Tshuva. The Rambam explains to us that in fact it is correct. Hashem does not pay back any mitzvah in this world. However, if a Jewish person is serving Hashem, if a person is passionately involved in serving his Creator, Hashem, so to speak, says, it's in my best interest, surely in His best interest, that I should remove all obstacles in His way. Tranquility, peace, sustenance, whatever he needs will be provided for him. Why? Because it's a good investment. Look what he'll do with his time. Look what he'll do with his resources. If a person follows the Torah dutifully, Hashem provides all of his needs, not as reward, but as the heichi timsa, as the wherewithal to allow him to accomplish his goal. And that is the lesson that the Jewish nation would have learned. Had they seen Moshe Rabbeinu speaking to the rock, they would have said, look at that, an inanimate object, doesn't require sustenance, yet it listens to Hashem. Surely we who are directly dependent for our livelihood upon Hashem, shouldn't we also listen to Hashem? Why? Because if we serve Hashem properly, if we use our time appropriately, Hashem will remove all obstacles from our path. Hashem will provide for us all that we need. That lesson would have been lost. And I believe this Rashi is teaching us a fundamental concept, and that is that earning a living doesn't necessarily have to be difficult. There are various life tests, there are various situations we go through, but if a person passionately follows the Torah ways, it is in Hashem's interest, so to speak, both for Hashem and both for that person, that all the obstacles should be removed. If Hashem says it's a good bet for me to take care of this person's needs because he'll better serve me, he'll dedicate himself more towards learning, towards chesed, towards doing what he should do, then the Rambam guarantees to us that Hashem will remove all obstacles. It's not the payback, it's not the reward, and it's not the motivation for us to do mitzvahs, but being aware of the system can help us better serve Hashem.